Hey, we are in the Chardock graveyard here. This is usually camped over here, these mobs, primarily this one, for a Battle Master, but today I'm going to be covering the Grave Master fight, which is a little, just around this corner back here. This Imperial Grave Master is the placeholder. Um, During the fight, you will definitely have this Gravebinder add. And then near the end of the fight, because we wait until this individual is pathing back, this Gravebinder will also aggro. So right now we're looking at two Gravebinders, which are Shadow Knights. Definitely going to cast. Going to be a bit of a pain. You can also get Crypt Masters, which are Necros. And then also you can get the Wraith of Dizok, which are warriors. Definitely the preferred add on this fight. Imperial Grave Master as well as Grave Master Zo'lun are both warriors, so definitely preferred. But always just assume if you're going to do this camp that both the adds are going to be casters. I don't necessarily wear any sort of resist gear for this fight, but it is important to have some clickies for Dispel. Right now you see me casting Ultra Vision, but really more of a Bracer of the Hidden. And having those instants are going to help with Dispels. I like to have the first 4 slots for, insta clickies or junk buffs, whatever, before you start getting to the meat and potatoes. The resist you're seeing here is from a previous camp. Kind of ignore that. But for this particular fight, you'll want to make sure you've got magic resist, poison, disease. So your talisman of Shadu, talisman of Jacinth, and then your magic resist. This is usually your go. When this ad starts pathing back, I will stand here. I will engage this Grave Master. If you pull the Gravebinder, you're going to get the skeleton ads down there. So as he's coming up, maybe around here, I'm casting Torp, and just as he's taking the corner, I'm going to cast on the Grave Master. You want to place... I've attempted this camp in a number of ways. I used to fight back here. I've since swapped to fighting on this side. So what I will do is I will take the Gravebinder, the caster ads, and I will root them on this side. And then I will pull the PH or the named over here and fight here, and that way you can actually kind of get an eye on when the pather is returning. So as long as you are not moving mobs past this little notch in the wall, then you're not going to get ads here, right? These constructs can aggro, but generally not if they don't go past this. So that's a good frame of reference. You can do it. I'll usually go kind of like right here to kind of position a mob on the wall there, but don't move them past that. Likewise, on this side, if you are not, I would say past here, anything to the right of this, you don't really run a risk of aggroing that mob there or that mob there. So you'll see in the video I've got a little bit of range of movement. Just keep that in mind. That's kind of what you're trying to do, right? Stay closer to the side here. Don't get too close to the edge. You can definitely get them to add, but it's rare, right? Just keep in mind, you don't want to get too close where you're getting crouched like this, but yeah. So, alright, I think that's a good little intro for the camp, and then let's cut to some combat. Okay, so this is generally what you're looking for here from a buff perspective, right? We've got 4 quote-unquote junk buffs, got our more desired ones, and we make sure to have our resist magic, disease, poison, and then you always need to have 1 spot for Torp at least. One of the things you do want to keep an eye on during this fight is to make sure that you're not missing that. This timing here is not great because generally speaking you want him, you kind of want to maximize the amount of time you have with him gone, but we're gonna do it here. Generally speaking, and you'll see in my next clip when you want to pull him. This is where I like to keep my pet. I guard him here so that when I say back, he actually goes back to there. And then we are going to go ahead and pull this So the key here is you definitely want to pull the actual placeholder or the named, right? You don't want to pull the Grave Binder because it will aggro the skeletons on the left, which we want to avoid. So you'll see I usually will pull slow and then immediately try and debuff and root the Grave Binder, then follow it up by slow, right? And that mob is now quote-unquote positioned. Because our pet was guarded back there, when I tell him to back, he's actually going to head back this way, so that's definitely beneficial. At that point, you know, Insidious Malady, and then start stacking your dots, keep those up. I have the Regal Band of Bathazid, so I'll try. I recently got it, so I don't have a great habit of standing in place and using it just yet, but if you don't have it, if you don't have a damage shield, I say hang back, let the pet tank. But if you are tanking it, it's not a big deal. At this point, all you want to keep doing is maintaining your dots, trying to torp back as much as you can, and then see here, you want to keep an eye in the back and see when that pather is returning. So I have him pre-targeted, I have pre-casting. You don't want that to land before he aggroes, because you can actually pull some of the skeletons from the pit there. So debuff, slow, position, root around the corner with the other one, and then also at that point I'll usually, and I even did it here, refresh the root on the first one. So this is an exceptionally smooth kill here. Just repeat what you're seeing here. It usually will go about the same. Occasionally you'll get unlucky with resist, stuff like that. You know, it happens. Don't worry about it. If you need to gate, try again. If you die, you die. This camp really just comes with practice. So here we'll get a look at actually killing the named Grave Master Zo'lun. You'll kind of see here how I used to do it, how I used to position over there on the left. That's where I'd fight him, and then I would plant the ads on the right here. I have since flipped that, and that's how I recommend you do it. But while we get a look at taking down the named, just realize you can do it this way. It's just a personal preference. The benefit to doing it this way, the big benefit in my mind, is being able to see when that pather is returning. But while we watch this and go through this, I just want to cover some of the important highlights of this camp, things to keep in mind. So we can just dive into that. So first things first, definitely have junk buffs and clickies for those first 4 slots. The big issue with the Dispel is not necessarily that you are, I'm not going to have enough buffs to get the kill. The issue is that if you're getting those top spots dispelled, that's where your torp is going to go. So when you are low and you do have to torp, well, now your torp is in slot 1, slot 2, and then it can get dispelled again. So you definitely want to avoid that. We want torp happening as far down our buff slots as we can. So that is the key takeaway. At least 2 clickies, preferably more, or 2 junk buffs, preferably more, for that particular reason. Make sure to have magic resist, poisoned, disease resist. Those are the 3 spells that you're really going to have to deal with here. You could use resist gear. I have done it in the past, but I don't think it's necessarily required here. Like in these clips, I don't think I have gear on for either one of those, or at least not dedicated gear. You can use a pet. Take a look at how I did it in the previous clip, and then just kind of be cognizant of your positioning, where you're at. If you have any questions about how to get to this camp, check the description. I might put a little card up here. Check out Momentary's Chardock guide. He'll get you here. So thanks a lot, and I will see you guys in the next one.